I remember the first time I heard Jesse Jackson speak in person. It was an amazing experience. He was awesome. But here's what stuck out. I don't necessarily remember soaring eloquence. I remember someone who talked like a real person who cared about real people. And I think that's what made him such an effective communicator. And I think that's what can make you and I effective communicators as well. Think about it. If you've ever heard Reverend Jackson speak, whether in person or on television, I'm willing to bet that you heard the following. You heard someone who spoke like a real person. He didn't use extraordinarily big words that I couldn't relate to or that the average person couldn't understand. No, he used simple language that made his message clear. And the clarity of his message allowed that message to impact hearts and minds all over the country, all over the world. He spoke like a real person. And I believe we should do the same, which means we don't have to worry about flawless delivery. We don't have to worry about using multisyllabic words to ensure that our audience knows that we're educated and we're experts. No, you and I can use language that is simple and clear, that gets to the point and drives the point home. Not only did Reverend Jackson talk like a real person, but he talked about what mattered to real people. He didn't babble on about concepts that needed lots of unpacking after he was finished. No, he spoke to the needs of the audience on the other side of the camera. He spoke to the needs of the people in the room. I can remember being there with my mom and seeing her nod her head, seeing other people in the auditorium that day nod, respond verbally, maybe even cry. Why? Because he did more than just speak to their heads. No, he spoke to their hearts. He spoke to issues that mattered to them. He spoke to the things they were experiencing. And if you can talk to people about their experiences, you'll have their attention all day. How about speaking to people about things that matter to them instead of talking to them about things that matter to you? I know your sale is really important. I know the speech you prepared is really deep. But I also know that the people you're talking to will never care more about you than they do about themselves. So why not talk to them about the thing they care most about? Talk to people about what matters to people. And last but certainly not least, talk in a language that people can understand. I'm a reader. I love reading, but the books that I love reading the most aren't the most complicated. They are simple stories that are simply told. They're told in language that I can feel without having to do too much thinking about it. Now, that doesn't mean that the concepts are not complicated, but the best writers, the best communicators, the best storytellers are those who can take complicated concepts and break them down so that simple minds like mine can understand them. And if we're going to be effective communicators, that's our job. It's our job, our goal, our calling, if you will, to explain complex concepts in a very simple way. And we do that by talking to people in language they can understand. Use everyday language. Use everyday terms instead of jargon. Use everyday terminology instead of insider speak. You don't have to make yourself sound smart. What you do have to do is get people to know, like, and trust you. And if you can talk like a real person about things that matter to people in language that an average person can understand, then people will do just that. They'll know, like, and trust you, and they'll more than likely want to work with you. Take care.